We took the PLA snap and we, of course, painted it red, white, and blue. Hung some American flags on it.
We didn't have cat machines back there.
And then we have the PL72, the PL83, and the PL87.
Welcome to episode 11 of Crownsmen Energy. This is a great episode because today we are joined by Tony Fernandez. He is the president at PipeLine Machinery International. And Tony is here to break down their different products, their pipe layers, dozers, Panther carriers, and much, much more. But before we continue on with the show, let's thank our sponsors. First up, we have Savannah Equipment. Are you working on pipelines, oil and gas projects, renewable energy, or LNG, and need some cash? Savannah Equipment has industrial pumps, electrical equipment, from motors to transformers, and even surplus pipe and much, much more available now. You can visit them at savannahEquipment.com, where you will find more equipment every day. And next up, we also have Power Zone Equipment. When you need a specialized team of world-class engineers for your oil and gas pipelines, dewatering, or any fluid handling needs, you want to visit powerzone.com. In addition to their inventory of rebuilt pumps, motors, engines, they also have an amazing team to design and engineer your systems no matter the challenge, no matter the location. Get in the zone with Power Zone. Visit them at powerzone.com. Well, let's get on with episode 11 of Crownsmen Energy. Here's Jared Downey and Tony Fernandez.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crownsmen Energy. This is episode 11. And today, I would say we have, at very least, the most unique dealership when it comes to CAT. We have PipeLine Machinery International on the show, and their president, Tony Fernandez, has joined us to talk about the company, the reach. They're actually a global dealership for pipe layers. So, hi, Tony. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's we're over here in Canada. I think, where are you located? Where's your facility?
Our headquarters is here in Cypress, Texas, which is just right outside of Houston.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to jump right into the model because you do the pipe layers, but you're not the typical CAT dealer, which is segmented by region. You're actually global, I think, with the exception of Russia or something, right? Is that do I have that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we are Caterpillar's only dealer that doesn't have a geographical territory that they're responsible for. So every dealer in every part of the world has a territory that they're responsible for, and they'll focus on many facets of construction, whether it's roads, bridges, power generation. So we're the only Caterpillar dealer that doesn't have a geographical territory. We have basically an industry. So we are responsible for the oil and gas, the construction of mainline pipelines throughout the world.
So does that, now you must have to, now is there a collaboration with local dealers, or how is that set up? Because how many locations do you have?
So we have, of course, our headquarters here in Cypress, Texas, and then we have a facility in Edmonton, also a facility in Australia, and we have an office in Europe and China. And we do a lot of work in South America too, but we don't have a physical type office there.
And that would be because of course, being in Texas, you're quite close to that border then, right?
Yes, exactly. So then we collaborate, we work with the local Caterpillar dealer wherever the pipeline project might be. And as you know, these customers, they're transient customers. They're working all over the globe a lot of times. So they're touching several Caterpillar dealers' territories that they may go through 3 different Caterpillar's dealers' territory. So we help with a bit of an introduction to the customer, the project, and then the local Caterpillar dealer. That their responsibility is the product support, making sure that these machines stay running. So they'll be selling parts, serviced,
Right.
and they're also renting whatever they may have available that fits the need for the pipeline contract. Remember, these are all pipelines that are put into the ground. So primarily, the machines that these customers are using are big track type tractors, excavators, pipe layers, a few motor graders here and there. So the local cat dealer has very big responsibility because he's taking care of all those machines, and it's a great source of revenue for them. Just because it's a large volume of machines that arrive to these pipelines.
I want to get in, Tony, into the specific equipment that is for the pipelines, like the pipe layers. But I also wanted to clarify something. Is there a difference between, now you do sell, because I was going through your website, you do sell the loaders and the dozers, but is there something specific about them that separates them from a standard construction dozer or excavator?
Yeah, so the track type tractors, which we distribute primarily the D6, D7, D8, those are all equipped with angle blade and a rear winch. So that's not just commonly found at any local dealer. It is pipeline specific. Also, the excavators, I mean, they're still almost about the same you'll find at the local dealer. Customer might want some tool control for some hydraulic components that they want to put on the end of the stick, or they might want a different size bucket. And then, of course, the pipe layer, which is really specific for pipeline jobs. You have the bigger pipe layers and the smaller ones. And it just depends on the diameter and the weight of the pipe that they're going to be laying in the ground.
I want to jump into the pipe layers because they're quite interesting machines. I hope we could get some footage from you of them, how they line up and actually lay that pipe into the ground in unison. It's quite something to watch, actually. So the way that we connected actually was, funny enough, I would say 90% of our guests are coming from LinkedIn or direct connections. But Pipeline Machinery, it came from Instagram because I think it was the PL87. And it was all rigged out. It had an American eagle and American colors on it. Can you talk a little bit about first that unit, but also the sort of the inspiration by how you did that one up?
Yeah, so we decided to take a used PL87 that we had here in Cyprus, because we have a service facility here and also a paint facility. So we decided to do something special for this pipeline project. It's actually called the Mountain Valley Pipeline. And unfortunately, the pipeline's been through several delays with permitting and through the courts. It's quite a mess. And they actually had to halt construction of it last year. And this project is set to get underway here any moment. They're going to start mobilizing hopefully next week. And we decided to do something special for a customer of ours that's working on that project. So we took the PL87 and we, of course, painted it red, white, and blue, hung some American flags on it. And it's a very special machine for us. We're very proud of it. And it'll be going to that pipeline job soon. And I've been in contact with the customer. And of course, they're very excited to have this machine come to their project. And they're going to make sure that the union operator is ex-veteran or a veteran. So they're going to put a veteran on the machine to operate. So that'll be a proud moment for him as well.
I was going to say, because I always, if you ever watch a show, I always kind of have a bit of a grassroots leaning just because of my background. I was thinking there's going to be a guy that's going to get to operate that machine. Everybody else is going to have the yellow. He's going to have this American one. But they're actually going to put a veteran on that machine to run it.
Yes, yeah, they're going to put a military veteran on there. So he'll be very excited. We'll have to send you some photos when it arrives to job site and when it gets work.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll use the photos for this show. We'll use the ones we saw, the Instagram photos. But once you get it up and working, yeah, we'd love to post that. I wanted to just quickly on those PL87. That is the largest unit. So, what is sort of the size range? Not to get too technical, Tony, but just so we have an understanding. What is sort of the size range of the PL line of the CAT manufacturers?
Yeah, so we managed the smallest one is the PL61, and that's used on smaller projects, distribution type work, not really mainline work. And then we have the PL72, the PL83, and the PL87, which again is the largest machine. It's a 90-ton machine. So they're very big. They're quite heavy, so it takes a couple trucks to haul a PL87 to a job site. And the pipe layers, with the exception of the PL61, they're still manufactured here in the United States up at Caterpillar's factories up in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, does that what was I was going to ask something and I didn't want to forget it. Oh, when you sell these units. If let's say you've got a D8, they maybe need an excavator. Would there typically, and I apologize for the layman question, Tony, but would there ever be a case where you would just sell one pipe layer, or is it always, when I see the videos and that, it's always like there's 5 or 6 laying the pipe? Is that always the setup, or is there cases where so are you always selling multi-units when you do this? When you do these projects?
Yeah, I mean, primarily it's all multi-units because it's for large projects, and so we also sell and of course rent our equipment. We'll sell it through leasing options, and then of course we rent it to the customer direct as well.
I gotta jump over to the Canadian side. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
There's always multi-units.
Like I said, when they're building these big projects, so it takes a lot of equipment, and so you usually sell them, by the dozen.
I'll ask one last question that probably everybody watching knows, but that I don't. When these different sizes, do they let's say someone already owns several units, but now they've upgraded in size. Do they mix or match, or is that why there's that rental options and that? Do people have to switch out back and forth based on the project, or can you sort of is there a bit of a sliding scale on could 2 different size units work in unison together?
On the bigger diameter of pipelines, they don't really. I mean, you'll use like a PL87 and PL83 on a project. But primarily, they'll use the same machine, depending, the pipe might be concrete coated, so it's a lot heavier, so they'll have to use more 87s than 80, or more 87s than 83s. And a lot of times the 72 is a popular machine as well, and they'll use those on the projects for the automatic welding. So one of our partners in the industry is CRC Evans, and they're primarily focused on automatic welding. So, you have to weld each of these joints together. And we also have a Vanguard welding machine that'll be on the back of the pipe layer, and it'll be holding up a shack tractor. And basically, it goes down the line before the pipe is laid in the ground, and it'll weld all these joints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's quite a sophisticated project. I mean, it's all automatic welding, so it's all tested and everything else. So we work along CRC Evans because our machines will be providing the power for the welding units.
Right. So you could have a smaller unit doing that part while you've got the bigger units actually that get ready to lay the pipe. There's another one, and this is actually a throw over to the Canadian side of thing, because I believe these are actually manufactured in Canada, if I've got my information right. You do I think they're called Panther carriers. Can you talk a little bit about those machines?
Yeah. So the Panther, yes, it's manufactured there in Toronto. Or it might be Quebec. I'm sorry.
We can correct it later.
Yeah, manufactured in Quebec, and they're also an OEM with Caterpillar. So it's a rubber track carrier, and they have flat beds with different attachments on the back. You can use it for welding, and again, it's rubber track, so it can be used in very wet conditions. They make from a T6 to a T14 with rotating beds. They're a great partner of ours. Like I mentioned, they're OEM as well. So for the CAN engine and a couple other components, so that's how they get the OEM status with Caterpillar. And we have a lot of those machines working primarily in North America. And again, it's a great partnership. We've been a distributor for them for the pipeline industry for several years now, and it's really well accepted in the industry. The reliability, the product support. So again, we're very proud of the partnership that we have with them.
Would most pipelines, if you're putting the PLs on them, would you also be putting the Panthers on them, or is it very specific terrain where they're required?
No, they'll go in most all terrains, and they'll be on that project. Whether, like I said, whether they're hauling the coating machine or the welding units, they also haul a lot of mats with them. Mats is what.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so the mats that they have to put down on the right of way sometimes for environmental reasons, and of course to keep machines a little more stable. So the Panther will transport the mats to the right of way.
Right. I mean, in these, obviously now on our show, we're probably 2 out of 3 shows is about technology, and there's obviously a lot of more technology being implemented into laying these pipelines now. There's a system, and I wanted you just to outline a little. I believe it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's called CraneSmart monitoring system. Can you just correct the name, because I don't know if I have it right, but can you also just talk about it? I know there's some sort of system when you're climbing, it actually it lets you know what the weight as you climb. I ride a bike, so I know when I ride up a hill, all of a sudden the main power is it changes because of the weight distribution, obviously. So can you talk a little bit about that technology that they're in?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 2 products that we use from CraneSmart, and again, they're also a Canadian manufacturer. They're located in Edmonton, and we've been a distributor for them for several years. Again, another great partner. So the LMI is installed on pipe layers, and it's a load monitoring indicator. So the operator will have a little control panel in the operator station. And through a wireless type system, it will show the operator the weight that he has on the end of the boom, on the side boom, basically on the hook. So it'll show them the angle and the weight. The load monitoring indicator is in most countries, it's mandatory now for pipe layers. Not in the United States, but several of our customers still use them. But again, it's a safety feature, and it has some audible alarms on it. Maybe if you're picking up too much weight at the wrong angle, it does give the operator an audible alarm. So again, it's manufactured in Canada, and now it's installed basically on every machine that comes in the factory. We used to do the installs ourselves, but now with Caterpillar and CraneSmart, we're doing that at the factory. And then also, I believe it was last year, maybe the year before, we created another product with them. There was a lot of activity up in the Northeast, in the mountains of West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. There was a lot of work out there, and what we in very, very steep slopes. So with the help of CraneSmart, we created a winch smart. So that's basically when you're working up in these hills, the rear winch is used to haul machines up there, haul pipe, to hold machines, and there's no way of the operator knowing what kind of pull, what kind of pressure he has on the end of that hook from the winch. So this actually tells them, again, through a control panel, whether it's in the cab or a foreman or somebody could be using it on the side of the hill, and to again, it alarms the operator if there's too much weight there. Because again, it's two great products. Safety is very important to all of us, to Caterpillar, to Pipeline Machinery, to our customers. So, anything we can do to help prevent accidents is of course our goal.
Well, that must be both the CraneSmart. I mean, that must, if you're, again, that lineup of multiple machines working in unison, all having those monitor systems, that must make them a lot more efficient. And I mean, I've used machines to drag stuff up hills, and I could have used that system many times as I was trying to figure out, judging my own mind, how, what kind of torque to put into this. I mean, that must make a huge difference also to wear and tear on the vehicle when you're able to judge much better exactly how much weight and how much power distribution is needed, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure the operators probably feel a little bit safer knowing that that's on. So it's very, very steep slopes. Nothing I would ever do.
Oh man, I've seen some of the videos, and I don't even yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to talk, Tony, because it's easy for us to talk. We've talked about, that PL87, out of the US, the Panther out of Canada, and then I think you said CraneSmart and WinchSmart is out of Canada as well. But that global snapshot, and so I want to do a couple things. I want to just highlight quickly a couple projects. First, out of Canada and the US, that sort of stand out to you that everybody would know about, just to get an idea of where your machines are working. But then I also want to switch over a quick snapshot of some of those overseas places where your machines are operating. Is there a couple, first off, the US-Canada projects that sort of stand out to you where your machines are working or are going to be working on?
Yes. We can start with Canada. Right now, actually, we're customers are mobilizing some of our units right now up to a couple of big pipelines that are happening in Canada, which is the Coastal Gas Link and the TMX, the Trans Mountain Expansion. So the Coastal Gas Link, that's a TC Energy project, formerly Trans Canada. So that's providing natural gas from Alberta all the way to British Columbia. It's about 670 kilometers. Again, unfortunately, the project is moving. Not as quick as everybody would like it to, but they are underway right now. I think that's a massive project in Canada. Several contractors are on that job now, and several of our units too. And also the Coastal Gas Link as well. I'm sorry, the TMX. So the Trans Mountain Expansion. That's basically an expansion of an existing line, and that also is going out to British Columbia as well. So that's a great project too. Good for the country of Canada.
Yeah. Well, we're about an hour away from where they've put, for one of those projects where they've put the pipe in a field, and it is something. Like, it is crazy how much pipe is in that field. Like, it's wild. But and then that you mentioned that Mountain Valley project where that PL87 is going. Is there any other project for you that stands out in the U.S. recently? It's a major project, not just from an economical level, but for you as a company.
Well, for us, like I said, it's slowed down quite a bit in the United States this year due to several factors. You've got the COVID and again all the permitting process that a lot of our customers are encountering and the holding companies. But Mountain Valley is a huge project that started last year. Again, they're getting underway this year. There's been several projects in Texas as well that's been bringing gas from the Permian Basin. That's kept us quite busy for the last year. We've all talked about the Keystone pipeline. That's now almost 10 years that we've been talking about that. The good news there is that they are underway building the Canadian section now, and they also did do the border crossing. So we're hopeful to maybe they might get that job started here in the U.S. By next year. Again, that's a huge project which will provide a lot of great union jobs, a lot of equipment, hopefully all Caterpillar. So we're hopeful that job would start as well. And in Europe, it's been pretty active for us for the last 24 months. We've got some units working in a big project in the Czech Republic, about 150-kilometer project. Got a lot of our PL-87s working there.
That you do like a project like that, but you're everywhere. I mean, you've done looking again on your website. I mean, you're sending machines over to Saudi Arabia. I mean, it truly is, and I think it's just Russia is the only exception. Everywhere else, that's all your territory, right? Globally, is that right?
Yes, yeah. There's several Russian dealers there, Caterpillar dealers in Russia, and they take care of the pipe layers there in Russia. The oil and gas business in Russia for a local dealer is huge, so they do take care of the pipeline contractors there in Russia, and we do everywhere else. You mentioned Saudi Arabia, that's been quite active for us as well. Aramco has built several projects there. We just finished one a few months ago. We had several pipe layers on that project.
I was going to ask Tony, just these types of projects. You're not bidding directly, right? Like, how is this set up? With these kind, like you said, you kind of obviously not jokingly said, hopefully they're all CAT. What is the process? Is it directly through the contractor who's then bidding on the project, or are you actually bidding directly?
No, we basically just work with the pipeline contractor. We don't work with the gas companies, the oil companies, holding companies. We're basically just working with the customer. And again, there could be several customers bidding on a project, and they'll come to us and to get some rental rates, lease rates. And again, all these projects are very machine intensive, and that's a huge cost of the project, especially in the bidding process. So we'll give them rates. You've got to deal with freight. Then maybe they want to get an idea of what the product support can cost them on the job, the parts and the service. So we're working directly with the contractor and to help them, of course, submit their bid for the project.
Oh, I see. So you're not directly doing it, but you are part of that development process.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
I wanted to quickly circle back to the global thing, because there was a question I had, and is when, obviously Canada, we've been going back and forth on pipelines for however many years, and you think, in the U.S. it's easier to get it through, but then even in places like Texas, which is kind of known to be pretty pro-oil, you have these projects get delayed for years and years. In being at a global level, does that help you? Because if one country, even if it's your own backyard in the U.S., is slowing down, there's a project in Mexico that gets green lighted. I mean, that must just be a huge backstop for you to be able to always have units going out the door. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
it's fair to say. In normal times, we probably have that. Again, now with the COVID and stuff,
yeah,
it's affected everybody globally, as we all know. But usually
right.
that's the case. It might slow down in the U.S., but then overseas, all of a sudden, a few of these projects pop up and they get the green light, and then we're able to just maneuver these machines and ship them somewhere else. And that's really why Caterpillar created pipeline machinery, because as you know, most of these Caterpillar dealers, just about all of them, are third, fourth generation Caterpillar dealers.
Yeah.
We're new. We've only been around since 2005, so we're a fairly new Caterpillar dealer.
And that was my next question, actually, is why they did develop it, because it is a unique model. I mean, you said it's new, so before, was the setup different? Was it individual dealers, or were there specific dealers that had larger areas? What was the setup, and then how did they amalgamate into one?
Yeah, so for example, I was working for Ring Power, which they're a Caterpillar dealer in Florida. And we were, semi-involved in the pipeline industry. We'd follow a few jobs here and there, and as well as the three partners that were selected to form PLM. They were involved in the pipeline business, but there wasn't, Caterpillar didn't have a very good view of it all. The forecasting is so important to Caterpillar, just making sure that we have the right machines at the right time.
Right.
Again, these customers are very transient, so they're all over the board. They're touching, a few dealers here and there, but there wasn't any kind of consistency. So back before 05, Caterpillar was actually interviewed several Caterpillar dealers that were somewhat involved in the pipeline industry, and they went ahead and selected 4 Cat dealers to form PLM. So we have Mustang, which is the local dealer here in Houston, Mustang Cat. Our other partners I mentioned is Ring Power, and then we have Fabic Cat, which is their headquarters, Missouri. They have a very large territory in Missouri, Wisconsin, and then Finning, which you should be familiar with. Finning, they're Canadian Cat.
Just a little.
Yes, yeah, they've got a large part of Canada now. So, and of course, because Mustang, you're in Houston, so you've got a lot of oil and gas activity. That was a no-brainer. Then you have Finning, which of course with all the activity up in Canada. So they selected these 4 partners to form pipeline machinery. And we all.
Oh, I see.
Basically, what we all did was they contributed their inventory and their personnel that were part of their pipeline division in their organization. They contributed that, and we formed PLM. And alongside with Caterpillar, so Caterpillar,
right.
because of course they were of course they're involved in this. So Caterpillar also dedicated their team, which is called Cat Global Pipeline, and they're also based out of Houston here. So they're our liaison with Caterpillar for whatever we need. We work with them for forecasting equipment, any issues we might have, with machines itself. They're our partner as well.
It seems like a system that would make a lot of sense. So is it sort of, just from kind of piecing together the interview, it sort of seems like you've got the machines themselves, but then you've got a support system, a central or a specific support system from Caterpillar towards the industry that you service. You have you providing support to the customer for the right units, and then you have a local level support from the dealership. So you basically got 3 checkpoints for the customer. Is that sort of right?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course we have our sales team, which they're involved with our customers every day, and then we have our product support team. So here internally we have a product support team, and their responsibility is, again, to keep these machines running that are on the project, and they work with the local dealer, whether it's the customer-owned machine, whether it's our machine. They're working with the product support team of the local dealer and in coordinating, again, repairs, whether it's warranty, whether it's not warranty. There's a lot of work behind all that. So they also have these pre-meetings with the local dealer for the product support time. For the product support, to making sure this dealer's, aware of the project, and make sure they're going to be ready to support the customer.
Yeah. Just as we wrap up the interview, Tony, I'm curious because you said you were part of you were working in Florida. Now you're the president, and you've got obviously multiple partners. You've got cat dealers, you've got the local level, you've got the projects themselves, the customers. What is it? How would I ask this question? How do you sort of approach piecing all of that together? Because every president that I've had on has a different set of people. You think, oh, it's business. There's you're buying the product and you're selling the product. I mean, but then there's so many different partners, especially with this setup, that the Caterpillar sort of streamlined the partnership, but there's still a lot of players at stake. And obviously, I mean, you're dealing with successful people, powerful companies. I mean, these are people that know what they're doing, but you've also got to facilitate everything. How do you approach a setup like that you're in, being the president?
Yeah, so I've been involved in the Caterpillar world and the pipeline industry, pushing on 30 years now. So I have a very good relationship with our partners. Again, we have a board of directors, and I report to the dealer principal at Mustang Caterpillar, which is Brad Tucker. And that's how we basically run pipeline machinery. And then we have, our weekly, monthly meetings with Caterpillar, because of course, they're a very important partner to pipeline machinery. And it works out great. We have some great employees here, very knowledgeable of the industry. I couldn't be more proud of all of them, from the people we have in the shop to our sales team, to our accounting folks. We have great people. We have great customers. The relationship that we have with these customers is like no other industry. They consider us their partner as well. So it's a great industry. I've been doing it a long time. I love it. I have a lot of good friends in it, and we just hope to overcome what we're all going through here in 2020 and
No kidding.
Get back to business. We're going to need to lay some pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's so neat to have a company like yours on, because we've kind of had so many different types of companies, but that setup is like I said at the beginning of the show, it's very unique, and your position of sort of facilitating all of this is very unique. So I'm very, very glad to have you on, and thank you, Dawn, for organizing everything for us. Between you and I and Gowdy for getting all the production set up. You'll notice, anybody watching the show, I can't not say that you notice our machines aren't back there anymore. Because Dawn caught it that we didn't have cat machines back there. So I'm going to have to hold you to it, Tony, to send us at least one machine to put back there, so it's a cat in the background.
Yes, absolutely. We'll make sure that it's sent your way.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Tony, for coming on the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this because of everything that's going on in the world right now. I mean, probably a year ago, you and I wouldn't have been doing this show together like this. We might have been doing it live at a trade show or something like that, but everybody's having to adapt. And so I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, and sort of trying out our setup here. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a different world, but we're all adapting to it. We'll definitely get through it. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. Hopefully we'll see.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
I hope so.
You got it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is one of those shows. I've wondered some of the different setups that Caterpillar has, and Tony coming on the show and outlining it for us really helped me out personally. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and I just kicked the camera. I'm sorry about that. But thank you for watching, everybody. Please subscribe. Check out our sponsors. Check out Pipeline Machinery International, their website, and we'll have, of course, the links and everything. And I just want to make sure it's plmcat.com. Go there. You'll see all the units. During this episode, you saw some of the amazing units that they've got up already. Enjoy this. Keep on watching the show. Subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you on the next episode of Crownsmen Energy.
Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to help support the production of the show, head on over to crownsmen.com/donations, where you will find the $5 monthly subscription option and the support heavy industry one-time donation option. Again, that is crownsmen.com/donations. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to PipeLine Machinery International for joining us today, and thank you to all of our sponsors, and we will see you on the next episode.